So Paul, you and I have been working together for just over 2 years now, and we've had, it hasn't been quite as we expected, but what do you think has been the most rewarding moments or features of becoming chair of the group, and where do you see it going in the future?
I think it's probably an understatement to say not quite as we expected. It's been the most unusual period I've experienced. But I think notwithstanding that, during the time, particularly during the pandemic, I think we've achieved a huge amount as a group, and I think we've had the ability to do that partly because lots of us haven't been on planes and trains and things all over the world, etc. I think in terms of chair of the group, firstly, fantastic honour. Delighted to be working with you as well, and I think you fitted in fantastically well to the group in the relatively short period you've been with us. It's been a bit of a baptism of fire for me, I think, in terms of what we've had to deal with. For me, really, the great thing about the group and being able to chair the group is, despite us being 13 very different organisations and very broad organisations in that sense, and being fiercely competitive, which you'll hear about particularly around renewal time, how competitive it does get. Despite that, the collective spirit and the desire to cooperate in the interests of the members seems to pervade everything, and that seems to, it's so strong there, and I think probably never better represented than during this time of the pandemic, when I think all of us just cast aside any individual competitive urges we might have had during the pandemic and worked together to find the solution for our members, for the seafarers, which have been a huge area of concern for all of us during this time, for our members, for us as well, and working with other shipping organisations, and I think that's one of the great things about I've found about chairing the international group during this period.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's been obviously the broad expanse of the work that the group gets involved in has been fantastic to understand in greater detail. Just by way of example, I mean, we've had more and more people taking our P&IQ exams and helping the education. And to me, that's so important for lots of different levels. One, it's fantastic for the students and the correspondents and everyone who gets involved on the P&IQ side. But also, we're helping to raise standards. We're helping to raise safety standards and response standards from those who get involved in maritime claims. And I think that's been a real success story for the group. And again, that's an example of everyone working collectively together to create a sustainable industry, which I think is really, really important.
We rely on this fantastic network of correspondents globally who do so much of the work day in, day out. They're the people who meet the ship when they come in, who deal with the problems that the master might have when the ship comes in. And they've faced huge difficulties during COVID as well, but still the level of service that they provided to us and that we've then been able to provide to our members has been fantastic despite all of the COVID challenges. Yeah,
I mean, I agree, Paul. They're often our eyes and ears and our feet on the ground, and we absolutely need them at all the group clubs to be there to do our work for us in remote locations. And it's so good to see so many of them taking our P&IQ exams and doing really well at them as well, so which is really, really helpful.
The challenge for the group always is remaining relevant, etc. But also, and in order to do that is making sure that we as the international group, the Secretariat's got the resources to deal with that. And I know during your time as CEO of the group, you've spent a lot of time thinking about the resources the group needs, and actually quite a lot of recruitment's gone on during that time, which maybe you just expand a bit more on that.
I mean, for me, I got to the group and I saw that we had some very experienced, very excellent people there, but we also needed to build for the future. And by saying that, there are many more issues. Every year we seem to be confronting new issues and not having enough people to really confront those issues and take them on and to run with them. So I'm really delighted by some of our new joiners, and just recently we had Camilla Slater and Danielle Data who've joined the team, and will be really helping to strengthen and back up some of the great work that the Secretariat has been doing in the years even before I came. So yes, I'm really excited about the new team and working with the new colleagues going forward, so can't wait for that to happen.
I think from speaking to the other clubs as well, we will share the same view, and I think it's probably right, isn't it, for both of us to to reach out to all of the clubs and thank them for their participation as well, because there's a huge amount of effort comes in from all of the clubs as well, obviously driven by and directed by you at the Secretariat, but we all rely hugely on the time that the clubs commit to the issues that, as you mentioned, continue to get larger and larger and more complex all the time.
Absolutely, and we couldn't do our work without the club input. And some of the leaders on some of the committees are they are so knowledgeable on their subject matter, and it's frightening some of the detail that they go into, and the commitment that they put in, both during their day job but also outside of that.
And you think that it's probably one of the hidden things, probably, the group, isn't it? We talk about the claims and the pooling that everybody knows about and the reinsurance buying, but it's that kind of work that goes on that is often below the surface that isn't seen. But I would say it's so hugely valuable to our ship owner members, the work that's done by you and by other colleagues within the international group.